What's up, everyone? And today I'm bringing a deck profile on my ice counters. Now you probably have no idea what ice counters even is. I wouldn't blame you because Konami hardly did anything with it. They got like 7 cards, probably less than that. But I've been wanting to do a deck profile on these for a long time because I figured it'd be a fun deck to kind of like play around with. Now before we get into the deck profile, I do want to remind you to vote for which deck you'd like me to do a deck profile for this month. The one with the most votes will win, and sometimes even the ones that maybe even receive 1 or 2 votes, or I might also do a deck profile on. May not be just the winning deck, but the winning deck is the only for sure one. So let's get right into it. Let's start off with the boss monster, Snowdust Dragon. Not really quite a boss monster, but so Snowdust Dragon can special summon from the hand by removing 4 ice counters from anywhere on the field, and other monsters with ice counters cannot attack or change their battle positions. It's the boss monster, but the ice counters just aren't good monsters. Like they can be pretty good at getting Snowdust Dragon out, but Snowdust Dragon doesn't really do much, so I gotta kind of outsource a little bit, which you'll see later on. Next, I run 3 Cold Enchanter. Cold Enchanter is essentially discard 1 card to place an ice counter on 1 face-up monster, and it gains 300 attack for each ice counter on the field. And that's not a once per turn at all. So let's just say you have 5 cards in hand, and you summon this, you can place 5 counters on Cold Enchanter, so that's really good. While the boss monster may not be as good, some of the support isn't too bad. I also run 3 Snowman Creator. This can create ice counters up to the number of water monsters you control. And if you place 3 or more ice counters on the field by this effect, you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls. These are pairs to the 2 cards that will get you the ice counters the most, so those are the cards you always want to see as much as possible. Next, I run 3 Snow Dragon. Honestly, I don't like Snow Dragon, but he's kind of necessary, especially for some of the cards I run. I definitely need to see him at 3, which you'll see later in the video. That's it for the ice counter cards. Next, I run 1 Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. The boss monster is a dragon, so if you're... why not? At least it's something. It turns a Snowdust Dragon into a permanent artifact scythe with high attack, so that's basically the only way this deck can even do anything, even compete. It needs to use just very busted cards. Now next is actually some new techs that came out, well, today as the recording of this video, but this is probably being uploaded maybe a few days after. And that is Red Eyes Black Dragon and Dark Magician. I think you can see where this is going, but then again, at the very beginning of the video, I kind of showed that I was running it, so. And why not? Dragoon's just that powerful of a card. Now moving on to the spells, I run 2 Pot of Desires. Main reason is for Dark Dragoon and Cold Enchanter, so I have more stuff in hand that I can discard. I also run 1 Upstart Goblin. Upstart Goblin, I have a physical copy of it, I just don't know where it is, and right now I kind of just don't have the energy to look for it. So I just put in like a proxy. I run 2 Red Eyes Fusion. I decided to go with 2 as opposed to 1. I don't know what the ratios are because Dark Dragoon really came out today as recording of this video. But I feel like 2 is the correct amount. I want to actually get Dark Dragoon on the field, not have it as an option, but more of like a focal point. And if I hard draw Red Eyes Fusion, the whole thing's ruined. So, but you don't want to run 3 because it's definitely not something you want to see in your opening hand. I just run 2 so to even if I do open up with 1, that the Dragoon isn't completely dead to me. I also run 1 Double or Nothing because both actually all the ice counter all the ice counters that I run except for Snow Dust Dragon are level 4. So that's an OTK option. Now onto the traps. Now the one thing with the ice counters, especially Snowman Creator, is as I said when I showed you Snowman Creator, it gains an ice counter for each water type monster on the field. So I want to basically run a water deck to kind of help facilitate that. And I thought the perfect way was with Paleozoics. So I run 3 Canadia, 3 Dynamistus, 2 Morella, 2 Oleanitis, and 1 Leah. Honestly, you could probably up Leah, in my opinion. And so this is basically what I chose to run for the water. I was thinking of like frogs, the dangers, but I ended up settling on Paleozoic. Next, I run 3 Solemn Judgments. I also run 3 Lost Wind and 2 Ice Dragon's Prison. I probably want a third one, or maybe swapped out the Lost Wind for Infinite Permanence. These are easily swappable, but that's just what I'm running. Now next, on to the extra deck. I run 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragon. Now this card is very, very powerful. First off, it cannot be destroyed by card effects, and it can't be targeted with card effects. And during the main phase, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack. You can use this effect a number of times up to the number of normal monsters used as fusion materials. So essentially 2, because you use Red Eyes Black Dragon and Dark Magician. Although with Dark Dragoon, you can use Dark Magician plus Red Eyes Black Dragon or a Dragon Effect monster, but Red Eyes Black Dragon is better. And once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can discard 1 card, negate the activation if you do destroy it, and this card gains 1000 attack. So this card is all around good. It can negate, it can destroy, it can gain attack, and that attack gain is permanent. So this is definitely a very powerful card, easily the most powerful card in the Megatons. Now I also run Predaplant Verte Anaconda. Sadly, I did order a copy, but it just hasn't arrived yet, and I just didn't want to wait for it. But Verte Anaconda is essentially the card that kind of facilitates the Dragoon plays. So essentially what happens, Verte Anaconda essentially takes the effect of any fusion or polymerization card, like Red Eyes Fusion. And the one cool thing about Verte Anaconda, it just takes the effect, not the activation cost. Like Red Eyes Fusion, when you activate it, you cannot normal or special summon monsters for the rest of the turn you activate this card. But with Verte Anaconda, it ignores that entirely, because you're not activating Red Eyes Fusion, you're using a Red Eyes Fusion effect. So it kind of is a little bit of a loophole, so you can still get out Dark Dragoon and still do all your normal combos. So very powerful. Now next, I run 1 Cross Sheep since I do fusion summon. It's a really good fusion support, and overall good Link 2. I run 1 LP and 1 Pisty. Since Snow Dragon is a level 4, you can also use LP and Pisty to kind of cheat out Snow Dust Dragon as opposed to using its normal summoning requirements. Well, I wouldn't say summoning requirements, but the normal way you'd bring it out, which is using 2 ice counters or something like that. I also run the 1 Union Carrier. I run 1 Forcus and 1 Borrelsword Dragon. Now for XEs, I run 1 number 39 Utopia and Utopia Double, 1 Snowdust Giant, 2 Paleozoic Opina, 1 Abyss Dweller, and 1 Dugaris. So that's going to be all for this deck profile. Let me know, what do you think? Do you thought this was a pretty cool deck profile? Let me know in the comments, and yep, I'll see you in the next video I make. Bye.